Great to see everybody today on a Tuesday, a different time. Let's go ahead and come to a nice, comfortable seat. Let's go ahead and scoot forward in the chair a little bit today. So you're using your core to help you sit up nice and tall. Peek down at your feet. You might have to walk them slightly forward. We want to land with our knees over our ankles. So you have that nice alignment. Feet are about hips distance apart. As always, if you do have blocks handy and you wanted to use a block between your feet, you're welcome to do that. You could also take one between your thighs if you so desire. Not necessary. Some days it just feels kind of nice. It's like a little feedback for your body. So I'm gonna use that today. Before we sit quietly for a moment, let's roll out all of the tension, all of the extra tension that has crept into the shoulders. Yeah, mine are definitely extra crunchy. All right, you can roll forward. Good, let's roll back again. All right, and then just allowing those shoulder blades to release down your back, gently squeeze in towards each other. You can take your hands anywhere on your thighs that feels comfortable. Allow your eyelids to close. Nice deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. Again, smooth, full, deep inhale. Ha, sigh the breath out. Observe right away if the shoulders are trying to like creep up the back around the ears. Mine are, so see what's going on with you. A couple more like that. Deep inhales and then exhales through the mouth at your pace. And then you can seal your lips as you feel ready. You start to inhale through your nose and then also exhale through your nose. Bring your attention to that soft rush of air happening in the back of your throat. Maybe it even feels a little soothing. Anytime your attention wanders, just remind yourself to come back to your breath. You might have to do that 1,000 times. Good. Take one more deep inhale through your nose. And then you can open your mouth, blink your eyes open, sigh the breath out, ha. And then let's just keep our hands planting into our thighs. Let's start to do some Sufi rolls, which sounds like sushi rolls, which is also a nice thing to think about when when stressed out, if that's your thing. I guess for some, raw fish is actually a very stressful experience. It used to be for me, but acquired tastes and all. All right, start to switch directions here. Maybe you're just paying attention to any places in your body where you're feeling a little tight, a little tense. Sending a little extra breath to those spots. And then you can start to make these circles a little smaller. Bring your attention to the transfer of weight that's happening in your sit bones until it feels like you've come right back to center. You're pressing down evenly. Again, you're lengthening through the sides of your waist. And then let's just take this into our cat-cow. So as you inhale, you rock forward. And then exhale, you round in chin to chest. Inhaling, rocking forward. Good. Exhale, round in. Let's continue like that. You might want to close your eyes again. Bring your attention to your spine, observing how it's feeling so far today. Good. If you'd like to add your right arm reaching forward the next time you inhale, starting to get into the shoulder girdle, you're welcome to do that. So you exhale, you release down, and then you can move with the opposite arm. And then perhaps you want to play with extending both arms forward. And as you know, you can always try these variations. Some days they work, some days they don't. So always feel free to play around, especially if you're watching this on YouTube and are newer to yoga. Good. So let's rock forward on our sit bones. So sitting nice and tall again, release your arms down by your sides. Inhale, take the arms out and up. And then exhale, turn the palms to face outward like you're moving through molasses. Press down. Let's reach forward and up. That same thing, just give yourself a little resistance. You're really firming muscle to bone. Exhale, press forward. Good, so you're like giving yourself, it's almost like you're using weights even though we're not. Inhaling out and up, beautiful. Exhale, pressing down, nice and strong. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, forward and down. Good, inhale out and up. Good, exhale, pressing down, forward and up again. Good, and then forward and down. Good, give the shoulders another little roll out. All right, and then let's just do a little shoulder stretching. This is something that I've been doing, little sequence I've been doing kind of pretty much every day that I'm really liking. If you do, I didn't mention this before class, but if you have a strap handy or a belt or something like that, you can grab it. If you don't worry about it. It's not necessary. But you might just, if you do have something, you could place it over your right shoulder. If you're watching this on YouTube, You could use a belt, a scarf. You could even use a sweatshirt. So anything will kind of make shift pretty well here. All right. So we're going to go ahead and take our right arm in front. And you're going to just use the strength of your left arm to hold that right arm. And it doesn't matter where you're at. You could be on the lower arm. You could hook with the elbow. This has to do with like how tight the shoulders are. Has to do with how long our limbs are. You're finding a place that feels good. And then we're just going to take several breaths here. Can you get that right shoulder blade to release down your back? And you should be feeling a nice stretch in the shoulder, the outseam of that arm, tricep area. And then go ahead and just release your chin down. It's not going to go very far with the arm like this, but it might just change where you're feeling the stretch. Right, we're going to inhale, lift the chin back so it's parallel to the floor. Good. And then we're going to stretch this right arm up. And then you can actually take your left hand to help wrap that palm to face behind you. So you're wrapping outer arm towards inner arm. We want to try to hold on to that feeling as we bend the elbow. And then we take our left hand on top. So you can apply a little weight, pressure if that feels good. Maybe you don't need to. And I'm getting this in the back of that like right shoulder blade. I'm feeling it in the armpit. Maybe you're feeling it across the chest a little bit. Several breaths here, smooth and steady. If you're still working with that block or blocks between your feet and thighs, maybe just check in there, give everything a little squeeze. Feel those inner thighs spiral down towards the floor. So if this feels like enough in your body, you stay here. If you want to explore going a little deeper, start to extend that left arm off to the side. We do a thumbs down. Good. And then you can kind of reach back and down, bend the elbow, and this is where you might grab that strap. You might be able to get fingertips to touch. If you don't have a strap, you're just pressing the back of that left palm into your spine. And then as you're doing this, as you're going to find a little leverage with your strap. So left shoulder head is pressing back, even as your right elbow starts to reach up. And I'm almost getting like a little nervy sensation. It's almost like that top arm is going numb. So if you need to take a little break, we're not going to be here too much longer. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. Really nice. Okay, so we're going to take one more deep inhale. Good. And then exhale, you're going to release. You're going to bring your left arm underneath. So a couple of options here. You're either holding your shoulders, so elbows are stacking. You could bring backs of the hands to press or palms to press. And then we're going to inhale, just lift the arms up. So a little shoulder flossing here. Exhale, elbows release down. Inhaling, lifting. Exhale, down. Inhale, 3. Exhale, release down. Good. Inhale, 4. Might just be the tiniest movement, especially if the shoulders are tight. Inhale. I don't know if this is 5 or 6. We'll go with 6. Release down. Inhale, 7. Release. Good. Inhale, 8. Release. And your shoulders are probably getting warm. They certainly are. All right. So one more here. Inhale, you lift up and we hold. So several breaths here. Can you lengthen through the sides of your waist with each inhale? As you exhale, can you hold on to that length, but can you press into your sit bones? Can you press into your feet a little more? You release this if you need to at any time, but if you've got a couple more breaths in you, stick with it. Good. So inhale, take the arms out and up. Ooh, sigh of relief. Exhale, release down. Yeah, and you're going to definitely feel kind of like the blood coming back to the shoulders. So give everything a little roll out. And actually, before we take that to the second side, let's just kind of like cleanse the palate, give the shoulder girdle a little break. Let's do just a couple of our Ardha Surya Namaskars, our half sun salutes. So I'm going to go ahead and take my blocks to the outer edges of my feet. And you can just set your strap off to the side. All right, so here we go. As you inhale, take arms out and up or forward and up. As you exhale, you can swan dive in, or you can use your hands to help you roll all the way down. Let your chin release towards your chest. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Exhale, folds back in. And then inhale, rooting down into your feet, take arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Good, inhaling, reaching up, maybe gazing up. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, release back down, Uttanasana. Inhale, Utthita Hastasana into Dasana, extended mountain pose. Beautiful, exhale, hands come to heart center. One more. And you can just flow here on your own, moving with your breath. Maybe closing your eyes if that feels good, if you feel safe and stable in your chair. Really nice work. Let's just pause here, palms together at your heart. You can just bring your gaze down towards your fingertips. And taking stock of how you're feeling. Good, and then you can lift your gaze, release your arms down. We'll take that sequence to the second side. So we're going to cross our left arm in front. And again, you're going to use your right hand and the strength of your arm to kind of press that left arm in. You can hook with your elbow. You can kind of be anywhere that feels good in your body. See if you can snuggle that left shoulder blade down your back. And then again, we're kind of targeting this tricep area, this outer arm. You might be getting curious about how this side feels as compared to the other side. And I forgot to have us put our strap on our left shoulder, so we will do that in a moment. Okay, deep inhale here. And then exhale, we'll just go ahead and release, grab that strap. All right, and then from here, we're gonna inhale, stretch that left arm up. Good, use your right hand to find that rotation, so spinning outer arm towards inner arm, bend the elbow, and then you can place the right hand on top of your elbow, applying a little pressure if that feels, like something that works for your body today that you need. If you're a little tighter, you probably won't, so you'll just keep it really mellow. And then you have the option to stay here like this. If you'd like to go a little further, you take that right arm off to the side, little thumbs down, then you can kind of reach back and around, bend the elbow, climb that hand up your back, grab the strap, and then use the leverage of the hand pressing against your spine to press that right shoulder head back, even as you're lifting your left elbow up. And again, you take breaks whenever you need to. So we're kind of like moving pretty slow here, giving things a nice long hold. I actually find that to be quite challenging, but it's also a really great way to build strength, to build flexibility, even patience. All right, so you can start to release. We're going to take that right arm underneath. So elbows stack. Again, lots of options. You could just stack your elbows like this. Backs of the hands might press. Palms might press. So you're sitting nice and tall. The only thing that's moving is your arm. So inhale, lift. Exhale, release down. Inhale, 2. Exhale, release. We're just kind of like, this movement is just nice. It helps to warm up the shoulders. 4. 5. 6. 7. And just a few more here. 8. 9. And 10. So you keep the elbows lifted here. And we take about 9 or 10 breaths. Again, this can be quite intense. Take breaks if you need to. Lower those arms down. Beautiful. On your next inhale, take the arms out and up. Lovely. Give the shoulders a roll. You can move the strap off to the side. Let's do 3 more Ardha Surya Namaskaras before we move into some neck stretching. So I'm not going to cue you this time. We're just going to move with the breath. If these aren't working for you, I invite you to do some cat-cow. You could even sit quietly. You could do your box breath or wave breath. Really bring your attention back to that sound of your breath. And maybe let it be kind of soothing. Let it calm you. Really nice. When you're done with that third round, again, palms together at your heart. If you liked keeping your eyes open, just gazing down at your fingertips, you can do that, or close your eyes. Take stock of how you're feeling. Maybe it feels like you're sitting a little taller at this stage of the game as we've kind of stretched out, loosened up, warmed things up. From here, blink your eyes open. Release your hands down to your thighs. Maybe just peek down at your feet. Refresh your posture if you need to. So find those sit bones. Find those knees over your ankles. Find this nice tall seat. Deep inhale here. And then let's exhale, drop the chin to the chest. Inhale, lift your chin. Exhale, right ear. Ooh, to right shoulder. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, chin to chest. Good, inhale, lift. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Inhale, center. Good, exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right ear, right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, chin lifts. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Inhale, center. One more full cycle like that. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right ear, right shoulder. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, chin to chest. Maybe you're dropping a little further as you begin to warm up. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Good. Inhale up to center. Exhale, we drop the chin to our chest and we stay here and breathe. So we kind of did a little flow there, which is kind of nice because it starts to warm things up. But then it's always nice to come into a hold. That allows the muscle fibers to start to release, lengthen. Observe if your shoulders are trying to help out. They're creeping up around your ears. If that's you, soften them down. Maybe that means you have to lift your head a little. And let's keep our chin tucked and then just rotate your neck about 1/4 of the way. And you're going to notice that the sensation starts to shift a little bit on that left side. Maybe you release your left fingertips down towards the floor. As you do that, you might find that it feels too intense today. If that's you, you just place that hand back on your thigh. And then maybe you move towards bringing your gaze out all the way over that right shoulder, keeping that chin tucked. And as you transition there, if your hand is releasing off your left thigh, maybe you need to place it back. Last little piece here, if you'd like, you could start to lift, that left arm. And for me, this always does some interesting things. As we all know, interesting can be both good and bad at the same time. Sometimes it's just bad though. Like if I were to say the market is interesting right now, it would just mean bad. All right, go ahead and release your left arm down. If you took that variation, hand comes back to your thigh. All right, so go ahead and lift your chin so it's parallel to the floor. Deep inhale here. And then exhale, bring your gaze forward. Lovely. Let's take another deep inhale here. And exhale, allow your chin to drop back to your chest. Several breaths here. So maybe this is feeling like your most open version of this simple neck stretch, this pose here. And so there's something to be said with visiting poses. The repetition helps us to find space. And then we're going to keep our chin tucked. But we're just going to rotate the head about a quarter of the way towards that left shoulder. If you're going to be feeling things differently on this side than you did on the other side, it certainly feels a little tighter for me. I can kind of feel my shoulders almost tensing, wanting to get involved. So if you're experiencing that as well, just remind them to relax. Chill out, shoulders. Can you visualize your exhale going to the place or places that are feeling the tightest right now, the most tender? Just breathe some space into those spots. And then perhaps you start to rotate a little further still. You're probably not going to make it all the way to that left shoulder, but certainly you might move a little closer. And I did this wrong. So let's actually come back that quarter. And then for a few breaths here, if you want to release your fingertips down. I caught it. That would have ruined everybody's week if that had happened. We can't have that. That would have been the interesting cherry on top of everything. All right, so now go ahead and rotate your head a little further. As you're doing that, if you notice that it's too intense to keep the fingertips reaching down towards the floor, that little counterweight, go ahead and place that hand back on your thigh. And then one further step here. Ooh, if you want to, you can start to lift that right arm up any amount. For my money, this is like the best stretch, kind of like for the armpit, chest area, the inseam of the arm. Good. Go ahead and release that hand down. Bring your hand to your thigh if you take that variation. And then inhale, lift your chin. Exhale, come back to center. Good. Release your arms down by your sides. And let's just do a little side to side lateral flow here. So as you inhale, take that left arm up and over. Hopefully the shoulders feel nice and open. Exhale, release down. Good. Inhale. Up and over. Lovely. Exhale. And as you're swaying to one side, maybe you're looking up underneath that top arm. It should feel pretty good to do that right now after doing all of that neck and shoulder stretching. This might be another spot where you want to close your eyes. Some days that just feels really nice. It kind of helps us to get a little more internal. The next time your left arm is reaching off to the right, just hang out there. Shoulder blades releasing down towards your sit bones. Extending through those left fingertips even as you root into your left sit bone. So you're feeling this nice side stretch. And then if this is feeling nice, stay here like this. If you'd like kind of like a little core, a little kind of twisting action, keep reaching through those left fingertips where you're going to start to wrap your left ribs to the right. Extend out. Maybe reach your right arm forward. Ooh, it's like a little oblique crunch. And then come back to center. You're going to take an exhale here. Think outer hips squeezing, lower belly pulling in and up. Inhale, rise up, really nice. Exhale, side bend to the left. Anchoring into your right sit bone. And then feeling all of that stretch through the right waist, all the way through your fingertips. These left ribs are rolling up. Maybe you're gazing up underneath that top arm. Shoulder blades are releasing down your back. Breath smooth and steady. All right, and then if you want that little bit of spice, you're welcome to take it. Otherwise, you just stay here like this. But if you'd like to play, start to twist your right ribs to the left and then hinge forward. Reach, 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 reach. You're going to feel a little like side cramp on the left and the right. Maybe extend. Ooh, that left arm forward hurts so good. Outer hip squeeze in, lower belly pulls in. Come on up. And to center. Deep inhale here. As you exhale, release your hands down by your sides. Really nice. One more little wiggle out of the shoulders here. Good. And then let's get into just kind of like some held hip stretches here. So option one would be to cross your right ankle above your left knee. If there's sensation in the knee, you're flexing the foot. You can take your right hand into your right thigh, gently press down. The other way to get into these hips here, this right hip, is to simply open up that right leg. Both good variations. Are both going to do similar but different things. Right hand might press to the inside of your right thigh. And then just taking several breaths here. Taking stock of how this right side is feeling in your body, this hip area. So the whole interesting can be good or bad thing reminds me of something that I heard earlier today. I was listening to a podcast, and apparently Zillennials, so I think that's like the age group right now that is kind of like late teens in their 20s. They find it to be passive aggressive if you give a thumbs up on a text, which I don't understand as a Gen Xer, because, to me, that's just like acknowledging information that has come your way. So I don't know if it's because they need like positive heart validation on those texts, but anyway, noodle on that is kind of like an interesting is good bad. For them, the thumbs up is sometimes a bad thing. Now I'm going to always question when I do the thumbs up. Or not. I guess that's passive aggressive. All right, so again, if you're getting a nice hip stretch, if this is feeling like enough, some days like enough is enough, less is more. Stay exactly where you're at. If you're feeling you'd like to go a little further, you might start to hinge forward. And this is just going to shift where you're feeling sensation. Hands can be on thighs. This might be a spot where you use those blocks or a piece of furniture in front of you, a piece of wall. Especially in these deep stretch poses, it can be really intense because of the sensation that we're getting in our bodies. Bringing your attention to your breath can be helpful. You can even count it, inhale to count up 6 or 7 or 8, and then you can exhale to that same count. Stretching the breath out can feel nice in these poses. And then the final little piece you might want to do here, if you're in more of a forward fold, is to take a little twist. So walking your hands to the right a little bit, and it's targeting that left kind of hip, lateral stretch through the side waist, side body there, which can feel really nice. Or interesting, or thumbs up. Any of these things might describe what's going on in your body. All right, nice. Let's come back to center. If you walked off to the side, you can use your hands to help you press up. If you wanted a little more core work, you could do that like reverse swan dive out. Beautiful. We'll take our second side. So come back to your Tadasana. And again, the options are to find that hip opening on the left side by walking that leg off to the side, any amount. It may not be very far. As long as you're feeling some sensation, you're doing it right. Again, you might give yourself a little like adjustment if needed. And that might not happen until your silver breaths in. The other option here is to cross our left ankle above our right knee. Yes, right knee. If there is sensation, if your left knee, though, you're going to flex this left foot. And that just engages the muscles around this joint. It helps to protect it. How does this side feel different in your body? Does it? Again, maybe counting your breath. Your eyes might even be closed here. Sometimes when they're open and we're looking around, it's a little easier to get distracted. Can often feel a little challenging to just be still in a pose. So just know if you are experiencing that, there's nothing wrong with you. And then we have the option to go a little deeper if that feels appropriate for you on this side. This side might be different, so it does not need to look like the other side. If you're getting a good stretch, stay upright. That's perfect. That's where you need to be. Otherwise, if you want to fold in, you're welcome to do so. Maybe do a little check-in with your shoulders. Has tension crept in there? Your face, your jaw, are you clenching there? Can you soften? Finally, if you wanted to find a little twist here, which can feel really nice, you can walk your hands, your blocks, off to the left, any amount. Let's walk back to center. And then again, you can make your way up. You can roll up, use your hands to press if you wanted to do a little reverse swan dive. And last little homage to the core. You're welcome to. Beautiful. Good. Come to a comfortable seat. Let's do a little alternate nostril breathing today. I just feel like that would be nice. Okay, so find a comfortable seat, nice Tadasana. Let's try to make some Zoom fireworks, see what happens. Nothing. Come on, Zoom. We need something, Zoom. All right, and then you can kind of like, I don't know, like you're picking up sand with your toes, but it's your finger toes. Good. And then go ahead and place your left hand down on your thigh. We're going to use our right hand to block the nostrils. Don't really care how you do this. Any finger combination will work. The more classic mudra is to bend the second and third. And it's like you're making one little finger with the ring and pinky. Find that bony part of your nose and then move down to that soft part, that cartilage. The elbow loves to creep up here. So you're just going to be mindful as we move into our nadi shodhana that you keep it relaxing down, both shoulders relaxing down. Allow your eyelids to close. Nice deep inhale. Full complete exhale. Block left, inhale right. Exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Exhale left. Block left, inhale right. Exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Exhale left. Block left, inhale right. Exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Exhale left. Block left, inhale right. Exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Exhale left. Block left, inhale right. Exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Exhale left. Block left, inhale right. Exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Exhale left. Release your right hand down. Inhale through both nostrils. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out. Ha. And then we're going to move into some form of Shavasana. You might just stay exactly where you're at, but it's going to feel different. It's going to feel a little more relaxing. You're going to kind of surrender. You're going to give your body, your brain, the opportunity to assimilate the work that we've just done together this past hour. You're going to chill out. You're going to soak up these final moments as we transition into the rest of the day ahead. Masato masat gamaya. Tamaso ma joy gamaya. Mrityor ma mritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh. Let your next inhale be deeper. And open your mouth, sigh the breath out, ha. And then start to bring some gentle movement back to your body. So circle ankles, wrists, wiggle fingers, toes, stretch out, whatever feels good here. And then you will eventually land with your hands in a pile on top of your heart. Send yourself love and gratitude, your body love and gratitude. The gift to be able to work together like this, to move like this, is not always easy, but it does make a difference. So just promise yourself you're not going to look at any stock charts the rest of the day, and that you're going to carry this good feeling with you into the rest of the day, evening, week ahead. Finally, just bow your head with a smile. Terrific work today. Thank you. Forgive my extra snarkiness today. They should probably take my yoga teacher card away from me.